Welcome to the Word for Life podcast, a daily devotional covering the entire Bible from Genesis to Revelation.
In Joshua chapter 15 to 19, we read about how the Israelite tribes took possession of the land the Lord had given to them. First, in chapter 15, we see how a large portion of the land of Canaan is allotted to Judah. And within Judah, Caleb is given a special place called Hebron. But after the place was allotted, Joshua 15:14 notes how from Hebron Caleb drove out the three Anakites, that means the giants, Sheshai, Ahiman and Talmai, the sons of Anak. Then, along with his brother and son-in-law, Jacob also took possession of Kiriath Sepher. Interestingly, Caleb's daughter comes to him and asks for more land. In verse 19 we read, she replied, "Do me a special favor. Since you have given me land in the Negev, give me also springs of water." So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. You see, while people like Caleb and his daughter take possession of the lands given to them by Moses, in verse 63 of chapter 15 we read, Judah could not dislodge the Jebusites who were living in Jerusalem. To this day, the Jebusites live there with the people of Judah. The same is said of the Ephraimites in the next chapter. In chapter 16 verse 10, we read, they did not dislodge the Canaanites living in Gezer. To this day, the Canaanites live among the people of Ephraim, but are required to do forced labor. And in the next chapter, chapter 17, we read the same about the Manassites. In verse 12 and 13 of chapter 17, we read, yet the Manassites were not able to occupy these towns, for the Canaanites were determined to live in that region. Verse 13, however, when the Israelites grew stronger, they subjected the Canaanites to forced labor, but did not drive them out completely. However, in the same chapter, Zelophehad's daughters demand for land, and they get it. Friends, God has allotted us different gifts, privileges, and opportunities. Yet, we could for some reason feel inadequate to possess what the Lord has assigned for us. In 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 5 to 7, the Apostle Paul told his younger assistant, Timothy, I am reminded of your sincere faith, which first lived in your grandmother Lois and in your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded now lives in you also. For this reason, I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God, which is in you through the laying on of my hands. For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. Friends, believers often pray for power, passion, and persistence from the Lord. Believers also can get weak sometimes, lack the love for living for God, and lose discipline in achieving what God has in store for them. But believers pray for power, passion, and persistence. In 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25 to 27, Paul the Apostle showed himself as an example to us. In verse 25 onwards, we read, everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. In Joshua chapter 17, verse 14 to 18, the children of Joseph complained to Joshua that only one allotment and one portion has been given to them. But they are a numerous people and they need more land. In verse 15, "If you are so numerous," Joshua answered, "and if the hill country of Ephraim is too small for you, go up into the forest and clear land for yourselves." But they replied, "All the Canaanites who live in the plain have chariots fitted with iron." In verse 17, "But Joshua said to Ephraim and Manasseh, though the Canaanites have chariots fitted with iron, and though they are strong, you can drive them out." Friends, may we also know that God can give us His power, His passion, and persistence every day to do what we need to do in completing His plan for our lives. In Joshua 18 verse 3, Joshua challenged the Israelites, "How long will you wait before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given you?" Friends, sometimes the right time to act is now. Whenever the Lord moves us, let us also move. There is an old but beautiful song which goes like this: "I can hear the footsteps of my King. I can hear His heartbeat beckoning. In my darkness He has set me free, and now I hear the Spirit calling me. He's calling, 'Wake up, child, it's your time to shine. You were born for such a time as this.'"
Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Word for Life podcast.